13.8 billion years ago, time began its endless flow. Matter took shape. The universe burst into existence in a single moment. From that cosmic dawn, a blue planet emerged from chaos. Blue as its ancient seas, where life's endless dance first began. From that first spark of creation, our world transformed. It crafted spaces that steal your breath away. Landscapes that seem to belong in another universe. And humanity, children of this ancient land, created wonders that challenge nature itself, adding our own chapter to this endless story. In the perfect harmony between what nature carved and human hands built, something magical was born. On this journey, we'll discover that beauty speaks a single language, the language of wonder. Welcome to Earth. Welcome to our planet. They say the world has already been explored, that every corner has been mapped, that every secret has been revealed. They lie. The truth is, our planet still holds countless mysteries, waiting to amaze us. Get ready to explore a world unlike anything you've ever known. This is not a tourist guide. It is a journey through the Earth's enigmas. A discovery of the most enchanting wonders on the planet. A descent into the depths of human ingenuity. Our journey begins at the very spot where nature chose to display its full might. Iceland. In a remote corner of the planet, where fire meets ice, Iceland defies every logic of nature. Here, under a sky that shows the northern lights in all its splendor, powerful geysers explode from the ground like giants. But this is just the beginning. Wild waterfalls plunge from cliffs as black as night, while turquoise lagoons hide among the glaciers. It's not a landscape, it's a world apart, where every corner tells a story of primordial forces. Active volcanoes rest under expanses of ice, creating a spectacle that seems to have come from another planet. Those who visit Iceland never return the same. This place changes the way we see Earth. It's a collection of extreme contrasts, where nature shows all its power, leaving us speechless before its brutal and perfect beauty. Amazon rainforest, South America. The green lung of Earth hides more secrets than we can imagine. The Amazon rainforest is not just trees, but it's a living universe, where something extraordinary happens every minute. Here, under an enormous green canopy 60 meters high, live creatures that don't yet have a name. Some are still unknown to science. The dark water of the Amazon River flows between trees like a gigantic brown snake, hiding an underwater world rich with life. But this paradise is disappearing. Every day we lose a piece of this puzzle, a treasure of life that could contain the key to our future. Now it's a race against time to save nature's greatest show, which is nature itself. Sahara Desert, Africa. Where does the earth end and the sky begin? In the Sahara, the boundary disappears into an infinite sea of golden sand. It's the largest desert in the world, but calling it just a desert doesn't do it justice. During the day, the sun transforms the dunes into golden waves that move with the wind, creating shapes that change every hour. At night, the sky explodes with stars, so close that they seem touchable. But the true mystery of the Sahara hides under the sand. Ancient buried cities, fossils of marine creatures, traces of rivers that once flowed here. This place tells an incredible story, the story of life. When thousands of years ago, all of this was green and full of life. Today, instead, it reminds us how much our planet can change and how powerful nature is in shaping the world we know. Nusa Penida, Indonesia. Off the coast of Bali, an island hides secrets above and below the sea. Above, its cliffs cut the sky like stone blades. Below, the ocean has carved hidden beaches, where waves create natural pools among the rocks. But the real show is underwater. Here, mantas swim, gentle giants that dance in the blue sea as if they were flying. The current brings nutrients that attract marine creatures from all over the ocean. In underwater caves, fluorescent corals create colorful gardens. The island's inhabitants tell stories of spirits that protect these places. Perhaps this is why some corners of Nusa Penida have remained intact, as if time had stopped. Rainbow Mountains of Danxia, China. In the Chinese province of Gansu lies one of the most extraordinary landscapes of our planet. The Rainbow Mountains are formed by layers of colored rock that have been deposited one on top of the other over millions of years. These layers have incredibly vivid colors, from intense red to yellow, to green, to blue. Over time, rain and wind have worked on these rocks, shaping them into undulating forms and creating a landscape unique in the world. These magnificent colored layers are not only beautiful to see, but are also very important for scientists because they tell 24 million years of Earth's history. Geologists are still trying to understand exactly how these intense and unusual colors in the rock were formed. This special place shows us how nature can create works of art more surprising than any human, and is certainly a place where Earth science transforms into a wonderful spectacle of colors. Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. A white desert full of water. It seems impossible, but it exists. Thousands of turquoise lagoons dot sand dunes that extend as far as the eye can see. Here, nature plays with our senses, and what seems like a mirage is real. During the rainy season, water collects between the dunes, creating natural pools where small fish swim. How did they get there? It's one of the many mysteries of this unique place in the world. The dunes move with the wind, change shape, create new lakes. But there's more. At the edges of this lunar landscape, mangrove forests hide a different world, where life explodes in 1,000 forms. Danakil Desert, Ethiopia. This is not just any desert. It's the hottest place on the planet where the earth boils and smokes. Lakes of colored acids open up between expanses of white salt, and the air smells of sulfur. During the day, the thermometer exceeds 50 degrees. The earth here is alive, breathing through geysers of boiling steam. At night, the sky fills with stars, while the ground continues to boil. Scientists come here to understand how life could be on other planets, because it's truly a place that tests the limits of life itself. Victoria Falls, Zambia, Zimbabwe. The rumble can be heard from kilometers away. An entire river falls into the void, creating the largest waterfall in the world. Local people call it the smoke that thunders, and they are right. The water falls from 108 meters, creating a mist that rises toward the sky like smoke. When the sun hits this cloud of water, perfect rainbows appear that last all day. But the real show is lower down, where water has carved deep gorges in the rock, creating a labyrinth where animals live that can't be found anywhere else in the world. Bora Bora, French Polynesia. In the middle of the Pacific, a ring of coral protects a lagoon that seems hand-painted. From the sky, Bora Bora appears like a blue eye, looking toward infinity. An extinct volcano rises in the center, like a sentinel watching over this paradise. The water here is so clear that manta rays seem to fly in the air. At night, luminous fish create underwater constellations, while sharks and rays glide like shadows under the floating houses. But the true secret of Bora Bora hides in the coral gardens, where creatures so small live that they look like living jewels. It's a place where time flows differently, marked only by the rhythm of the sea. Faroe Islands, Denmark. Between Scotland and Iceland, 18 islands challenge the world's toughest ocean. The Faroes are a place where sheep graze on house roofs, covered with grass to resist the wind. The sea has carved the cliffs like a patient sculptor, creating natural arches and caves where millions of seabirds nest. Here the rain falls upward, pushed by the wind that never stops. The villages look like they're from fairy tales, with their colored houses that dot the intense green of the meadows. But the ocean is the true master, with its currents that have created whirlpools that local fishermen know like the streets of home. Atacama Desert, Chile. The driest place on Earth hides a secret. At night, it becomes the world's largest natural observatory. Here, it almost never rains, and the air is so pure that the stars seem within reach. During the day, the crackled ground resembles the surface of Mars. Not by chance, NASA tests its space rovers here. Steaming geysers explode at dawn, while pink flamingos reflect in turquoise salt lakes. At sunset, the desert turns red, then purple, then black. It's such an extreme place that some life forms have adapted to live practically without water. Those who come here understand why scientists look precisely in the desert for traces of life on other planets. Galápagos Islands, Ecuador. In the middle of the Pacific, there's a place where animals have never learned to fear humans. The Galápagos are a living laboratory where time has stopped. Here, marine iguanas swim like small dragons, while giant century-old tortoises move slowly through the vegetation. It's no coincidence that Darwin understood the secrets of evolution right here. Each island is a world apart. Some are black, like the lava that created them. Others green like emeralds in the middle of the sea. Under the water's surface, sea lions play with divers like curious puppies. But the true miracle of the Galápagos is that here we can see how the world was before humans changed it. Machu Picchu, Peru. Suspended among the Andean clouds, a lost city defies time and gravity. Machu Picchu isn't just stone, rather it's a bridge between heaven and earth, built with precision that still leaves us speechless today. Each block used in its construction, some weighing as much as 5 elephants, fits with the next, without need for mortar, in an architectural puzzle that has withstood 500 years of earthquakes. During solstices, the sun passes through strategically positioned windows, transforming the city into a cosmic calendar in stone. The Incas didn't know the wheel, yet they created agricultural terraces that seemed to climb mountains, temples that dialogue with the stars, and a hydraulic system that still works perfectly today when it rains. It's a place where the impossible became reality, where every stone tells the story of human ingenuity, challenging the laws of nature. Serengeti, Tanzania. The greatest natural show on Earth repeats here every year. 2 million animals follow the rains in an endless journey across boundless plains. Lions hunt under solitary acacias, while herds of elephants walk in single file toward hidden water holes. At dawn, the sky fills with hot air balloons that follow the Great Migration. But the real show is invisible. Under the ground, termites build underground cities that change the climate of the savanna. At night, the Serengeti becomes another world, with hyenas and leopards going out to hunt, while the African sky lights up with stars. It's a place where nature still follows the ancient rules of the seasons. Singapore. At the center of Southeast Asia, a city has decided to become a forest. Singapore challenges what we think is possible in a metropolis. Skyscrapers covered in vertical gardens rise toward the sky, while 50-meter-tall artificial trees produce solar energy. At night, these giants light up like futuristic Christmas trees. Inside gardens by the bay, a rainforest lives under a glass dome. Rainwater is collected and used to grow millions of plants. But the real miracle is in the details, with rare butterflies flying between skyscrapers, while otters play in the downtown canals. It's a living experiment that shows how cities of the future could be, where nature and technology work together. Petra, Jordan. In the heart of the Jordanian desert, an entire city emerges from red rock, like a mirage made entirely of stone. Petra wasn't built, but carved. The Nabateans transformed sandstone walls into facades of temples and palaces, creating an artwork as large as a metropolis. The Sikh, a narrow canyon a kilometer long, suddenly opens onto the treasury, whose 40-meter-high facade captures the rising sun, transforming stone into gold. But this is just the beginning. Secret stairs lead to sacrificial places atop the mountains, while an intricate hydraulic system transformed sudden floods into a source of life. At night, 10,000 candles illuminate the Sikh, bringing back to life the caravans that once crossed this crossroads of civilizations, where the secrets of ancient builders are still hidden in stone. Banff National Park, Canada. Among the Canadian Rocky Mountains opens a world of turquoise lakes and glaciers as old as time. Banff is Canada's first national park, a place where grizzly bears still walk free and wolves hunt in deep valleys. Water flowing from glaciers carries minerals that color the lakes an impossible blue. In winter, waterfalls freeze, creating ice columns as tall as buildings. Moose cross roads like homeowners, while eagles soar over endless forests. But the real show comes at night. Here the sky is so dark that northern lights dance above the mountains like green fires. The Great Wall of China. A stone dragon that winds through mountains and deserts for over 20,000 kilometers. The Great Wall isn't just a wall. It's the largest construction endeavor in human history, visible even from space. Every stone tells a story of sacrifice, but also of incredible determination. In fact, it's said that for every meter of wall, a worker died. Built and rebuilt for over 2,000 years, the wall is a living history book, where each dynasty added its own chapter, modifying techniques and materials. In some places, rice was used as mortar, creating a binding agent stronger than modern cement. As you walk on its ancient steps worn by time, each step takes you through centuries of history, wars, trade, and dreams of empires that believed they could build eternity in stone. Hawaii, United States. In the middle of the Pacific, a group of islands is still being born from fire. The Hawaiian Islands are volcanoes emerging from the world's deepest ocean. Kilauea spits lava that creates new land every day, while seawater transforms it into black rock. Here, beaches change color, white, black, and even green, made of crystals created by the volcano. The planet's biggest waves crash on the North Shore, where surfers challenge walls of water as tall as buildings. But the real show is hidden, with secret valleys, where waterfalls plunge from vertical walls, and forests where plants grow that don't exist anywhere else in the world. Hoi An, Vietnam. A city where time stopped 400 years ago. Hoi An floats between canals and rice fields, with yellow houses that reflect in the Thu Bon River's water. At night, thousands of colored lanterns light up, and the city becomes a world of lights and shadows. These traditional lanterns, made of colored silk and bamboo, create a play of reflections on the water that transforms the streets into rivers of light. The market instead wakes up before dawn, even with boats loaded with fruits and vegetables that glide on the water like ghosts. Vienna, Austria. Vienna is a symphony of imperial history and modern innovation, a capital that breathes art in every corner. The Ring, the circular boulevard embracing the historic center, is an open-air gallery of 19th century architecture, where every palace tells the story of Habsburg grandeur. Schönbrunn Palace, the Habsburg summer residence, stands majestic with its 1,441 rooms, surrounded by gardens that are a triumph of Baroque art. The State Opera and the Musikverein are temples where musical tradition is preserved and renewed every evening. In historic cafes like Café Central or Café Sachet, time seems frozen in the era when artists and philosophers gathered to discuss art and politics. But it's precisely when winter wraps Vienna in its icy mantle that the city transforms into an enchanted stage. Imperial balls are organized in historic palaces. New Year's concerts create a fairy tale atmosphere, and every square hosts its own Christmas market, with the oldest dating back to 1298. Each one lights up the city with thousands of lights, while the scent of mulled wine and cinnamon sweets fills the air. Rome, Italy. The Eternal City breathes through 2,000 years of history. Rome was built on 7 hills, but the real treasure is underground, where there's an underground city of catacombs and buried temples. The Colosseum hides a labyrinth of tunnels where gladiators waited to fight. The water in the fountains still comes from ancient springs through aqueducts built by emperors. At night, cats are the masters of the Roman Forum, while the alleys along the river fill with music. But Rome is truly a melting pot of history. In fact, every time they dig for the subway, a new piece of history is found, like statues, mosaics, coins that tell forgotten stories. Norwegian fjords, Norway. The sea has cut the mountain like a knife through butter. Norwegian fjords are wounds in the earth that ice created in millions of years. Rock walls rise straight from the water for 900 meters, while waterfalls plunge into the void. Here the Vikings built their ships using the same trees that still grow on the mountainsides. In summer, the sun never sets, and light bounces on the water for 20 hours a day. Fishermen instead live in red houses built on stilts, as their ancestors did. But the real show is in winter, with northern lights reflecting in the black water of the fjords, creating a light show that seems to come from another world. Kyoto, Japan. In a valley surrounded by mountains, ancient Japan still lives. Kyoto preserves more than 1,600 Buddhist temples, each with a garden ready to tell its story. In the Gion district, geishas walk silently on stone streets, as they have for centuries. The Golden Temple reflects in a pond, creating two identical worlds, one in the water, one in the sky. But the real show comes in spring when cherry trees explode in pink clouds, transforming the city into a living painting. In the Arashiyama bamboo forest, very tall green stems rise toward the sky, creating a natural tunnel where light filters in emerald rays. Great Barrier Reef, Australia. The largest living being on Earth is found under the sea. The Great Barrier Reef is an underwater city, 2,300 kilometers long, built by billions of small animals. Here, clownfish play among anemone tentacles, while sea turtles swim above coral forests as tall as houses. Dugongs, sea cows as big as cars, graze underwater meadows. But this world is in danger. The water gets warmer every year, the coral suffers, and scientists race against time to save this living museum. New York, United States. It's a place where 8 million stories intertwine every day. A city where dreams touch the sky. Manhattan's skyscrapers create canyons of glass and steel, while underground, the subway never stops. Central Park is a rectangle of nature in the heart of the urban jungle, and here, squirrels befriend passers-by. But the real show is at dawn, when the sun rises between skyscrapers, creating an effect that New Yorkers call Manhattanhenge. At night, millions of lights transform the city into an earthly universe, while under the bridges, the East River flows silently, as it has for centuries now. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. A temple city, as large as Paris, emerges from the Cambodian jungle, where giant trees have embraced ancient stones for millennia. Angkor Wat isn't just the largest religious building in the world, it's a model of the universe carved in stone. Its 5 towers represent the peaks of Mount Meru, the dwelling of the gods, while the moats surrounding it symbolize the cosmic oceans. "8,000 meters of bas-reliefs tell stories of gods, kings, epic wars, and daily life, carved with such detail that you can distinguish dancers' hairstyles and fabric patterns. During the equinox, the sun rises exactly above the central tower, transforming the entire complex into an astronomical calendar of titanic proportions. Marrakech, Morocco. A city where time is measured by scents. Marrakech is a labyrinth of alleys that open onto hidden squares. The Medina is the largest market in Africa, and it's a world where each street has a different smell of spices, leather, cedar wood. Snakes dance to the sound of flutes in Gemma Elfna Square, while behind red earth walls hide secret gardens, oases of peace in the chaos of the city. At sunset, the square fills with smoke and fragrances, while hundreds of outdoor kitchens prepare food for the night. Amalfi Coast, Italy. A place where mountains dive into the sea. The Amalfi Coast is made of colorful towns clinging to rocks, where houses seem built one on top of another. The road connecting these towns is a ribbon that winds between sky and sea, with curves that seem drawn by a painter. Lemons grow on terraces carved into the rock, as big as oranges, and fragrant like no other in the world. Positano descends toward the sea like a waterfall of houses, while Ravello overlooks the void from its hanging gardens. But the real show is from the sea, with hidden caves that open in the rocks, accessible only by boat, where the water shines with its own light. Great Ocean Road, Australia. Along 243 kilometers of wild coast, the ocean still sculpts rock for millions of years. The Great Ocean Road isn't just a road, it's a journey through time. While waves crash against the 12 Apostles, which are limestone giants that challenge the sea, kangaroos hop in the coastal plains, and eagles cross the sky. Here, where asphalt meets infinity, each curve reveals something different, with rainforests plunging into the ocean, solitary lighthouses watching over cliffs, and ancient Aboriginal legends echoing in the wind. It's a place where nature has created its personal open-air museum, and where every visitor becomes part of a story bigger than themselves. Yellowstone National Park, United States. In the heart of Wyoming, the earth breathes. Yellowstone is a sleeping giant, resting on one of the largest supervolcanoes in the world. Here, geysers explode with Swiss precision, mud pools boil like cosmic pots, and bison roam free as they did millions of years ago. The Grand Prismatic Spring paints the ground with impossible colors, while packs of gray wolves, reintroduced in 1995, have brought balance back to this unique ecosystem. Every morning, the fog rising from the valleys reveals a prehistoric world, survived until today, a place where nature stages a primordial show and in continuous evolution. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. A city where nature dictates the rules. Mountains plunge into the ocean, creating crescent beaches where life pulses to the rhythm of samba. Christ the Redeemer, 38 meters tall, watches from above this meeting of land and sea. Sugarloaf Mountain rises from the water like a stone giant, reachable by a cable car that offers idyllic views. Here, the Tijuca Forest, the largest urban forest in the world, surrounds the skyscrapers. Monkeys jump between trees, while surfers ride the waves of Copacabana. It's a city where every street tells a different story, and where the joy of living is as contagious as the rhythm of carnival. Iguazu Falls, Argentina, Brazil. The roar of water can be heard kilometers away. The Iguazu Falls are 275 waterfalls that create a water curtain 2.7 kilometers long. Water plunges from heights reaching 80 meters, creating perpetual rainbows in the mist. Below, caimans swim placidly, while toucans fly between rainforest trees. The Devil's Throat, the most impressive of the falls, swallows 1,500 cubic meters of water per second. Walkways allow walking above this spectacle, feeling nature's power on your skin. It is therefore a place where water has sculpted rock for millennia, creating one of the planet's most imposing spectacles. Cappadocia, Turkey. a lunar landscape on Earth. The Cappadocia is an open-air museum where wind and rain have sculpted volcanic rock into impossible shapes. The fairy chimneys rise like sentinels in the desert, while underground hide 8-story ancient cities. At dawn, hundreds of hot air balloons color the sky, offering surreal views of canyons and valleys. People have lived in these rocks for centuries, carving houses, churches, and warehouses, while today, many of these caves are luxury hotels. Cappadocia is a place where nature has created the world's strangest architecture, and where humans have learned to call it home. Antelope Canyon, United States. A cut in Arizona's red rock that hides a secret. Antelope Canyon is a narrow corridor carved by water and sandstone. Sunlight infiltrates from above, creating beams that look like laser rays. The smooth and wavy walls tell the story of ancient rivers that have shaped the rock itself for millions of years. Colors change every hour of the day, from orange to red to purple, while during summer storms, water still flows through the canyon today, like an underground river. In this place, nature has created an artwork hidden in the desert, accessible only through narrow ladders and winding passages. Maldives. In the middle of the Indian Ocean, 1,200 islands form a puzzle of floating paradises. The Maldives are a miracle of sand and water, where the boundary between sky and sea is lost in endless shades of blue. Below the surface, a hidden show comes to life, with coral cities where giant mantas swim, nurse sharks, and thousands of tropical fish move with the currents. Here, time slows down and is measured only by the rhythm of tides and the flight of local fishermen, who still fish today like their ancestors. A fragile paradise, silent witness to climate change, that reminds us how precious nature is. Lake Bled, Slovenia. An island with a church rises in the middle of a lake surrounded by the Alps. Lake Bled seems to have come out of a medieval fairy tale. On the water's edge, an 11th century castle dominates from the top of a cliff. To reach the island, visitors use traditional wooden boats called pletna. On clear days, the mountains reflect in the water, creating a perfect double landscape. Usually in winter, the lake is covered with morning fog, while in summer, swans swim quietly near the shore. Registan Square, Uzbekistan. In the heart of the ancient Silk Road, three madrasas rise like turquoise and gold giants, silent witnesses to an era when Samarkand was the crossroads of civilizations. The Registan is not just a square. It's an open-air theater where mathematics meets poetry. Its mosaics tell stories in a language made of infinite geometries, where each tile was placed with millimetric precision to create patterns that seem to dance in the sunset light. The towers lean slightly outward, an architectural trick that deceives the eye and makes them appear perfectly vertical. At night, when the moon illuminates the glazed domes, it feels like being transported to a world where science and mysticism merge, where ancient astronomers studied the stars while poets composed immortal verses in the madrasa halls. Bali, Indonesia. Bali is the island of the gods, a tropical paradise offering a perfect combination of natural beauty, culture, and spirituality. Its golden beaches stretch for kilometers along the coast, ideal for surfing and relaxing under the tropical sun, offering idyllic views of the Indian Ocean. Inland, the lush rainforests and distinctive rice terraces invite adventurous explorations, providing scenes of almost surreal beauty. Ubud, the cultural heart of the island, is a center for art, dance, and music, as well as home to a rich and diverse artisan market, and is recognized as a world-renowned destination for yoga practice. Bali not only enchants with its landscape, but also captures hearts with the kindness and hospitality of its inhabitants. This sincere welcome, combined with the enormous variety of activities and landscapes, makes every stay on the island an unforgettable experience, leaving travelers with the desire to return again and again. Barcelona, Spain. A city where art leaves museums and lives in the streets, Gaudi's works look like petrified sea creatures, with the Sagrada Familia growing toward the sky like a giant sandcastle, while Park Güell looks like a fairy tale land made of colorful mosaics. In the Gothic Quarter, narrow streets hide secrets of 2,000 years of history. La Rambla pulses with life at all hours, while in the Boqueria market the smells and colors of fresh food fill the air. From decorated balconies to artistic streetlights, every corner of Barcelona tells a story of limitless creativity. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. A city that challenges the desert. In the middle of the dunes rises the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. At night, its lights can be seen from 95 kilometers away, while below, fountains dance to the rhythm of music. In the desert, skyscrapers give way to traditional gold and spice markets. Bedouins, instead, still today take tourists around the dunes on jeeps and camels. In Dubai, the future and past live side by side, and the impossible becomes possible. Palawan, Philippines. An archipelago where nature reigns supreme. Hidden lagoons can only be reached by boat through small passages between limestone rocks. In Puerto Princesa Underground River National Park, rivers flow under mountains for 8 kilometers. Sea turtles swim in crystal clear waters, while dugongs graze on seagrass in shallow waters. Local fishermen move between islands on traditional boats with bamboo outriggers. In coastal villages, children play in shallow water, while mothers catch crabs among mangroves. This place perhaps can be called paradise, but for now we simply call it Palawan. Quebec City, Canada. A slice of Europe and North America. The old city is surrounded by ancient stone walls and is the only fortified city that can be found north of Mexico. During winter, white snow covers everything, from old pointed roofs to the cobblestone streets of the historic Petit Champlain district. A Above, the Grand Chateau Frontenac Hotel stands like a real fairy tale castle, looking toward the St. Lawrence River. The inhabitants, moreover, speak French, but have a particular way of pronouncing it, which therefore makes it different from European French. It's a city where people never stop, even during cold winters, and each season brings with it different colors and activities, making it always alive and interesting. Hong Kong. A city that grows toward the sky. The skyscrapers climb up the island's mountains, creating a forest of glass and steel. At night, the lights of 7,000 buildings shine on Victoria Harbor in a show called Symphony of Lights. In Temple Street Market, the smell of grilled fish mixes with the steam of dim sum dumplings. The steepest tram in the world takes visitors up to Victoria Peak, where the city opens like a book. Among the skyscrapers, ancient temples still hide, where people burn incense for the gods, and it's also this that makes it a city where future and tradition meet. Istanbul, Turkey. A city on two continents. The Bosphorus cuts Istanbul in two, separating Europe and Asia with a ribbon of blue water. Today, like 1,000 years ago, the strait is full of life, with large cargo ships passing under the bridge, following the same routes as ancient Byzantine ships. The famous Blue Mosque is a treasure of art, with sunlight entering through windows and illuminating 20,000 blue ceramic tiles, creating wonderful light plays. In the heart of the city is the Grand Bazaar, a huge covered market with 4,000 shops where you can buy everything, from colorful traditional carpets to fragrant oriental spices. Istanbul's life revolves around water, with every corner of this city reminding of ancient times, when it was capital of great empires. Agra Fort, India. Two kilometers from the Taj Mahal stands a fortress that was the heart of the Mughal Empire. The red sandstone walls enclose white marble palaces, connected by a system of hanging gardens that served as natural air conditioning. a complex system of mirrors and light wells illuminated the inner rooms. Here, Emperor Shah Jahan spent the last 8 years of his life imprisoned by his son in a room with a view of the Taj Mahal, the mausoleum he had built for his wife. Porto, Portugal. Among narrow alleys that climb up the hill, Porto hides a world where time flows differently. The Douro River cuts through the city, while iron bridges connect two different souls of the same urban heart. The red roof tiles remind of stories of sailors and merchants who made fortunes with port wine, still preserved today in the centuries-old cellars of Vila Nova de Gaia. São Bento Station, with its 20,000 hand-painted tiles, is a book of Portuguese history written on the walls. Porto is not just a city, it's a journey through time, where every stone tells of sea, trade, and passion. Sydney, Australia. Where the ocean meets civilization, Sydney emerges. The Opera House, with its white sails stretched toward the sky, looks like a fleet of ships ready to sail in the world's most beautiful bay. The harbor, in fact, is a natural theater where ferries move between waves, carrying life from one shore to another. Bondi Beach is more than a beach. Rather, it's a stage where surfers challenge the waves while the sun transforms water into gold. The city hides secret gardens among skyscrapers, while koalas doze in the eucalyptus trees of Taronga Zoo. Sydney isn't just a metropolis, but a meeting point between land and sea, where wild nature embraces modernity. Las Vegas, United States. In the heart of the Nevada desert, Las Vegas shines like a mirage of neon and promises. A city that never sleeps, where Bellagio fountains dance under desert stars and a miniature Eiffel Tower challenges the sky next to an Egyptian pyramid. Behind the dazzling casino lights, starred chefs create culinary masterpieces, while Cirque du Soleil artists defy gravity. During the day, instead, the red desert surrounding the city tells a different story, though, one of a primordial landscape where time has carved canyons and valleys. Las Vegas is a bold experiment, a city that has transformed nothing into everything, where every night is a show and every dawn brings new surprises. Grand Canyon, United States. A cut in the earth, deeper than a kilometer, where the Colorado River has carved for millions of years. The Grand Canyon is a wound that shows the planet's innards. Rock layers tell 2 billion years of Earth's history, like pages of a stone book. Every day, the sun paints the walls red and gold, and eagles fly free, small as dots against nature's immensity. The trails descend toward the river like in a vertical labyrinth. Silence has weight here, interrupted only by wind whispering among rocks. It's not just a canyon, it's a window into Earth's time. Amsterdam, Netherlands. A web of water trapped in cement, where 3,000 bridges connect 90 islands. Amsterdam's canals are the streets of a floating city, with crooked houses reflecting in the water, as if about to fall. Bicycles outnumber people, creating urban chaos on bridges. The flower market floats on water, and a rainbow of tulips defies seasons. In the evening, house lights reflect in canals, creating an upside-down world. Amsterdam doesn't follow rules. Here, water is street, and streets are museums. Chicago, United States. Chicago, known as the Windy City, sits on the shores of Lake Michigan. It has a world-famous skyline, full of impressive skyscrapers. Here you'll find truly unique buildings, like the Willis Tower, and works by architect Frank Lloyd Wright. In Millennium Park, there's the Cloud Gate, nicknamed the Bean by locals, which is a large bean-shaped sculpture that reflects the city in a surprising way. The Chicago River, with its distinctive emerald green water and movable bridges crossing it, is the beating heart of the city, offering architectural cruises that reveal the city's spectacular layout. At night, the lights create a majestic spectacle, while trendy venues in River North and rooftop bars offer panoramic views and sophisticated cocktails until the early hours of the morning. Moreover, each Chicago neighborhood has its own personality and tells stories of immigrants who came here to start a new life. Prague, Czech Republic. Nicknamed the City of 100 Spires, Prague rises above the Vltava River like a fairy tale book carved in stone. Its medieval skyline, miraculously surviving the wars that transformed Europe, tells millennia of history through an extraordinary fusion of architectural styles. From Romanesque to Gothic, from Baroque to Art Nouveau, each era has left its indelible mark. Charles Bridge, the ancient artery connecting the Old Town to the Castle District, is much more than a simple crossing. It's an open-air art gallery where 30 Baroque statues have watched over passers-by for over 3 centuries. At dawn, when fog rises from the river, the figures seem to come alive, creating an atmosphere that has inspired writers and artists for generations. Quito, Ecuador. A city clinging to the Andes at 3,000 meters height. Clouds pass between colonial church bell towers like ghosts, and in the historic center, church gold shines under the equatorial sun. Pichincha volcano watches over the city like a silent grandfather, while in indigenous markets, textile colors compete with those of tropical fruits. The city is also a mosaic of different eras. In fact, next to historic palaces rise modern skyscrapers. Quito is truly a bridge between two very different worlds. On one side, preserving the ancient Inca Empire's heritage. On the other, showing signs of Spanish conquest and modernity. Patagonia, Argentina, and Chile. The end of the world has a name. Between blue glaciers and mountains that cut the sky, Patagonia defies nature's logic. Wind runs free for hundreds of kilometers without meeting obstacles, and the Perito Moreno Glacier collapses into water with a sound that echoes in the valley. Guanacos walk against the wind like sailors on unstable land. Turquoise lakes hide between Fitzroy Mountains. Clouds run fast, changing light every minute. At night instead, the austral sky shows stars that don't exist in the northern hemisphere. Patagonia is much more than a region. It's a challenge between man and primordial nature. Mount Everest, Nepal and China. The mountain that touches the sky. At 8,848 meters, the air contains a third of sea level oxygen. Wind blows at 300 kilometers per hour. Snow transforms into ice bullets. Avalanches redesign slopes every year. The death zone, above 8,000 meters, is a place where the human body begins to die, while in the icefall, crevasses open without warning. Tibetan prayer flags wave between base camps where climbers wait for the right moment. Everest is the limit between possible and impossible. Paris, France. City of light, love, and art, Paris is a symphony of history and beauty to be admired, even in the winter months. The Eiffel Tower, a universal icon of romance, stands against the sky with its seemingly delicate structure, concealing engineering strength that was revolutionary for its time. At night, its regular sparkle transforms the Parisian sky into a stage of lights. The Louvre, from royal palace to temple of world art, preserves millennia of human creativity behind its Renaissance facade, while in its infinite corridors, the Mona Lisa smiles enigmatically at visitors. Montmartre, perched on its hill, preserves the bohemian atmosphere that has inspired generations of artists, with its stone squares and the majestic Sacré-Cœur Basilica. Masai Mara, Kenya. A savanna without borders, where grass moves like ocean waves. The Masai Mara is the theater of Earth's greatest animal migration. Zebras and wildebeest cross rivers full of crocodiles, following rain in a circular journey that never ends. Lions rest in trees while cheetahs hunt in open plains. The Maasai, tall shepherds dressed in red, still walk here with their herds, as they have for thousands of years. But it's at dawn that the Masai Mara reveals its magic, with countless hot air balloons rising in the pink sky, while elephant herds walk in single file toward hidden waterholes. Pamukkale, Turkey. White terraces like snow descending from the mountain. It's not ice, but limestone created by millennia of thermal waters. Natural pools fill with turquoise water, creating mirrors that reflect the sky. Water flows slowly on white edges, building new layers day by day. People have been immersing in the same pools for thousands of years, attracted by water's healing power, and steam rises in cold morning air, like a veil of fog. Pamukkale is a natural sculpture that continues to grow. Mu Cang Chai, Vietnam. Rice terraces climb mountains like stairs for giants. Water in terraces reflects the sky, transforming slopes into infinite mirrors. Hmong farmers have worked these fields for centuries, creating a living artwork. In autumn, ripe rice colors mountains gold, and water buffaloes move slowly between fields, like guardians of an ancient treasure. Morning fog wraps valleys, slowly hiding and revealing the landscape. These places aren't just field, but a perfect example of how humans can work in harmony with nature. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam. "3,000 limestone islands emerge from the sea like sleeping dragons. The emerald green water hides caves where pirates hid centuries ago, while traditional boats navigate between stone towers, as if in an aquatic labyrinth. Fishermen live in floating houses, where life's rhythm follows tides. Monkeys jump between trees on more remote islands, and at dawn fog wraps rocks, creating a world of ghosts. Sunset instead colors water red, while bats leave caves. Halong Bay isn't just a landscape. It's a world where land and sea merge in impossible ways. Bagan, Myanmar. An endless plain in the heart of Myanmar guards a treasure of over 2,000 Buddhist temples, each one a chapter of a story lost in the mists of time. For 2.5 centuries, the sovereigns of this land raised sanctuaries and stupas in an endless celestial competition. At dawn, when hot air balloons float in the golden air, they reveal a landscape that defies imagination. An ocean of spires and domes emerging from the morning mist. Each structure is an archive of devotion, every brick a silent witness to ancient prayers. Fernando de Noronha, Brazil. An archipelago where nature has created its paradise. 21 islands emerge from the Atlantic like tips of submerged mountains. Sea turtles swim in waters so clear they seem to float in air. Dolphins play in the bay as if it were their private playground. Seabirds fly above cliffs where the sea has carved natural arches. Tropical fish swim among corals that shine like jewels. Hidden beaches are reached only through forest paths. These islands aren't just a destination, they're a sanctuary where nature still reigns supreme. Sossusvlei, Namibia. The world's oldest desert shows its dunes like waves of a Red Sea. Dunes rise for 300 meters, creating shadows that cut sand like blades. Dead Vlei is a cemetery of petrified trees, in a plain white as the moon. Wind shapes sand every day, creating sharp ridges, while oryx walk between dunes like desert ghosts. Sossusvlei is not just a desert, it's a natural art gallery where wind is the main artist. The Pyramids of Giza, Egypt. In the Egyptian desert, three limestone giants stand against the sky, challenging not only time, but our understanding of the ancient world. The Great Pyramid of Cheops, as tall as a 40-story skyscraper, was for almost 4,000 years the tallest structure ever built by humans. But the real miracle isn't its height, it's the mathematical precision. The base is perfectly leveled with an error of only 2 centimeters over 230 meters per side. How did the ancient Egyptians achieve such perfection? Each stone, some weighing as much as 3 modern cars, was cut and positioned with precision that challenges our modern technologies. At night, when the desert wind whispers between the stones, it's almost possible to hear the echo of the ancient builders. Raja Ampat, Indonesia. In the far east of the Indonesian archipelago lies Raja Ampat, a natural treasure of West Papua. This aquatic paradise, made up of over 1,500 islands, cays, and shoals, is renowned as the global epicenter of marine biodiversity. The crystal-clear waters of Raja Ampat teem with life, hosting an unparalleled variety of marine species. Here, coral reefs stretch for miles, providing shelter to a myriad of tropical fish, mollusks, and rare marine creatures. This underwater wealth attracts scholars and diving enthusiasts from all corners of the globe. The aerial view of the islands is equally magnificent, with their distinctive rock formations covered in tropical vegetation, rising from the ocean's depths like green sentinels in a turquoise sea. This mosaic of land and water creates landscapes of almost unreal beauty, captivating the imagination of photographers and nature lovers alike. Lofoten Islands, Norway. An archipelago where mountains emerge directly from the sea. Fishing villages cling to rock with red houses on stilts. The midnight sun in summer never sets, coloring everything pink for months. The sea beats against 1,000-meter-high cliffs, but fishing boats return loaded with cod, which is dried on wooden racks. Northern lights dance in winter sky like a river of green light, and sea eagles fish between fjords as they have for millennia. This place is proof that life is possible, even at the world's edges. Antarctica, an ice continent as large as Europe, where penguins outnumber humans. The sun doesn't set for 6 months, then disappears for another 6. Ice moves like a living being, creating crevasses hundreds of meters deep. Wind howls at 300 kilometers per hour, lifting snow that cuts like glass. Storms, in fact, can last weeks. Under 3 kilometers of ice, hidden lakes host unknown life forms, while glaciers birth icebergs as large as cities. Silence here has physical weight. Antarctica isn't a frozen desert. It's the last place on Earth where nature reigns unchallenged. Rocky Boulders, New Zealand. Perfect stone spheres emerge from sand like dragon eggs. The sea has uncovered them one by one, eroding the cliff for millions of years. Some weigh 7 tons and have a diameter of 2 meters. Inside, calcite crystals shine like stars. The tide covers and uncovers them twice a day, as if the sea were playing with them. They formed like pearls, layer after layer, on an ancient ocean floor. The Maori call them God's petrified food baskets. It's as if they were time capsules telling 60 million years of Earth's history. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. The world's largest salt desert extends as far as the eye can see like a frozen white ocean. When it rains, it becomes a perfect mirror, and it's impossible to tell where Earth ends and sky begins. At night, stars reflect, creating the illusion of walking in space. When there's no water, salt forms perfect hexagons to the horizon, and rock islands emerge from the white. Under the salt crust, a lithium lake fuels the batteries of the future, while locals collect salt as the Incas did centuries ago. Whitsunday Islands, Australia. "74 islands, where sand is so white it looks like tropical snow. The Great Barrier Reef creates underwater gardens around each island. Hill Inlet changes shape with every tide, mixing sand and water in turquoise spirals. Whitehaven Beach, which is said to be the world's most beautiful beach, extends for 7 kilometers of pure silica and multicolored fish dance among its corals like confetti. These islands are as if they were fragments of paradise, fallen into the ocean. Monasteries of Meteora, Greece. Between earth and sky, faith has built the impossible in the dizziness of space. On 400-meter-high sandstone pinnacles, medieval monks created spiritual refuges using only ropes, pulleys, and devotion that defied gravity itself. For centuries, swaying wooden baskets were the only connection to the earthly world, their ropes replaced only when God broke them, in an act of absolute faith. Of the original 24 monasteries, 6 still endure, clinging to the rock like eagles' nests, cultivating gardens wrested from stone. When fog rises from the Thessalian Valley at sunset, these buildings seem to sail on clouds, suspended in a mystical limbo between earthly and divine worlds, eternal guardians of faith. Tianzi Mountains, China. Sandstone pillars rise from fog. Rock has broken into 3,000 towers, each as tall as a skyscraper. Clouds slide between columns, creating the illusion of islands floating in the sky. Rain instead has carved stone for millions of years, creating shapes that look like marching warriors. Morning fog transforms the landscape into a dream, while monkeys jump between towers as if they knew invisible paths. These mountains inspired Avatar film landscapes and are much more than simple mountains. Rather, they are a stone forest that defies nature's laws. London, United Kingdom. Fog dancing between Victorian buildings, while Big Ben marks time in a city that never sleeps. London isn't just a metropolis, it's a living tale where past and future merge in a surreal embrace. The Thames divides yet unites this urban jungle, where punk rockers and businessmen share the same underground carriage. In Borough Market, world cuisine aromas blend with vendors' calls, creating a multicultural symphony only London can orchestrate. In winter, when snow blankets Hyde Park and pubs fill with laughter and dark beer, the city reveals its most authentic soul. Winter wonderland lights transform streets into a kaleidoscope of magic, while Camden Lock markets smell of mulled wine and roasted chestnuts. Socotra, Yemen. Imagine landing on an alien planet, but still being on Earth. This is Socotra, a magical island where nature has created wonders unique in the world. Here grow the strangest trees you can imagine, called dragon blood trees. 500 years old, they open their branches like upturned umbrellas against the sky. For millions of years, constant wind has shaped every form of life on this island, giving birth to plants and animals that don't exist anywhere else on Earth. Majestic granite mountains rise from crystal-clear seawater, while from ancient trees drips a mysterious red resin called dragon's blood that shines in the sun like ruby. Socotra is a living museum of evolution, a place where time has stopped to preserve some of our planet's most extraordinary creatures. Ice caves, Iceland. These are blue tunnels carved in glaciers by the river flowing underneath. Light filters through ice, creating shades ranging from white to deep blue. Water continues to carve new shapes every day. In winter, ice stalactites grow from the ceiling, while the sound of flowing water echoes in caves like mysterious music. The ice here is 800 years old, and these caves are like open windows into the heart of glaciers. Easter Island, Moai, Chile. In the most remote part of the Pacific, a stone army defies time. The Moai are more than just statues. They are the ancestors of the Rapa Nui people, transformed into volcanic stone. Each colossus, reaching up to 10 meters and weighing as much as 80 elephants, made an incredible journey from the Rano Raraku volcano quarry to its final destination, without the aid of wheels or metals. With coral eyes now lost, These cosmic guardians still watch over the island, carrying unsolved enigmas about their creation and transport, secrets held within the same volcanic rock that birthed them. Okavango Delta, Botswana. A river that doesn't find the sea, but creates a water labyrinth in the Kalahari Desert. Every year, Angola's rains arrive here after a 1,000-kilometer journey. Water transforms sand into a green paradise as large as Wales. Channels divide like fingers of an open hand, and elephants swim across, using their trunk as a snorkel. Even lions have learned to hunt in water, the only place in the world where this happens. All this makes the Okavango a miracle that repeats every year in the middle of the desert. Madagascar. An island where evolution has created creatures that exist nowhere else. Baobabs rise like pillars in the sky, some 800 years old, and the road crossing them looks like the entrance avenue to a lost world. At Singi, limestone is transformed into a forest of sharp blades, and lemurs jump between trees. Forests hide chameleons as big as a thumb, while whales have been singing along the coasts for millennia. It's not just an island, it's a laboratory of evolution, isolated from the world for 80 million years. Daintree Rainforest, Australia. The planet's oldest forest touches the sea. Here, trees are 135 million years old. They were here when dinosaurs walked on Earth. Roots create arches over streams where prehistoric fish swim. Cassowaries, giant birds with blue crests, eat fruits poisonous to all other animals. The forest even produces its own rain, while giant ferns grow as they did in the dinosaur era. Daintree Rainforest is much more than a forest. It's an open window to Earth's past. Caño Cristales, Colombia. In the middle of Colombian jungle, a river defies all logic. For a few months a year, the water turns impossible colors. Red dominates, but it's not made of pigments or minerals. These are small plants, as ancient as dinosaurs, that wake from hibernation. The river flows over black rocks, creating waterfalls and natural pools where colors shine under the sun. Local people call it the River of Five Colors, but it's known worldwide as the Liquid River. The water is so pure you can drink directly from the current. Silence here is broken only by the sound of falling water, creating a spectacle that seems to come from another planet. Tokyo, Japan. A city where the future is already present. There are trains running at 300 per hour under skyscrapers that touch clouds, but just turn a corner to find ancient temples hidden among buildings. At night, neon signs transform streets into rivers of light, and in the fish market, chefs prepare the world's freshest sushi. Technology here isn't a luxury, it's part of daily life. Yet, in Zen gardens, time seems to have stopped. Tokyo, therefore, is a city where past and future coexist every day, creating something completely new. Angel Falls, Venezuela. The world's highest waterfall hides in the jungle's heart. Water falls for 979 meters, so much that it often turns to mist before touching ground. Indigenous people called it the Devil's Leap, and water's roar can be heard kilometers away. The base is surrounded by a forest that has never seen humans, while clouds play with the waterfall's top, hiding and revealing it as in a show. Water here doesn't fall, it flies. It's a place where nature shows what it can do when no one disturbs it. Chichen Itza, Mexico. a library of Maya knowledge written in stone, rises in the Yucatan jungle. The Temple of Kukulkan is a three-dimensional almanac with 365 steps narrating the days of the year, while 18 terraces recall the months of the Maya calendar. During equinoxes, a millennial play of light and shadow makes the feathered serpent Kukulkan descend along the stairway. But the stones also hide sonic secrets, like a simple clap that generates the echo of the sacred Quetzal. Like a Chinese box, beneath this pyramid exists another older one, guarding further mysteries of this extraordinary civilization. Alsace, France. Imagine a place where France and Germany blend together, where half-timbered houses reflect in the canals like an impressionist painting. Welcome to Alsace. Strasbourg, with its Gothic cathedral soaring towards the sky, preserves in its narrow streets the essence of a united Europe. Petite France, with its covered bridges and window boxes full of geraniums, tells stories of tanners and fishermen. Just 73 miles away, Colmar emerges from the mist like a Grimm Brothers fairy tale. Little Venice, with its pastel-colored houses, looks like a life-size gingerbread village. In winter, when snow blankets the sloping roofs and the aroma of mulled wine and pretzels wafts through the Christmas markets, these twin cities reveal their most authentic magic. Golden lights reflect in the canals, creating kaleidoscopic patterns, while in the wind stubs, traditional Alsatian taverns, time flows as slowly as the Rhine. It's here, between a steaming choucroute and a glass of Riesling, that you understand Alsace is neither France nor Germany. It's simply itself. Phi Phi Islands. From the turquoise sea rise imposing limestone walls, and these are the Phi Phi Islands. Maya Bay rests peacefully between these natural walls, while beneath the surface lie gardens of colorful coral. The crystal clear water reveals hidden passages between rocks, leading to secret lagoons and deserted beaches. The sun creates plays of light on rocky walls, coloring the sky orange at sunset. Local fishermen navigate between bays, telling ancient stories of the sea. Monkeys instead jump between palm trees that bend over the white beach. Below the water's surface, schools of tropical fish swim like moving stars, while sea turtles glide placidly among corals. When night falls, the sea lights up with small blue lights, and its plankton glowing in the darkness, transforming the water into a starry sky. Andalusia, Spain. Land of passions and contrasts, Andalusia guards Spain's deepest soul. Granada, with its Alhambra, is a poem written in stone and water. This palace fortress, the last bastion of Moorish presence in Spain, is a labyrinth of courtyards, fountains, and gardens, where Islamic architecture reaches unmatched heights of refinement. Its inlaid wooden ceilings recall sultans and poets, while the general-life gardens whisper love legends through their murmuring fountains. Seville, meanwhile, pulses to the rhythm of flamenco in the winding streets of the Santa Cruz Quarter, where orange trees perfume the air and hidden patios behind wrought iron gates conceal oases of tranquility. The cathedral, the largest Gothic church in the world, watches over the city with its Giralda, an ancient minaret transformed into a Christian bell tower. Andalusian winter is mild and bright, offering days of clear sunshine that make the Alcázar's mosaics gleam and allow outdoor tapas enjoyment in lively city squares without massive tourist crowds. Niagara Falls, United States and Canada. Known worldwide and located on the border between Canada and the United States, Niagara Falls is a unique natural wonder, with millions of liters of water plunging every second. A trip on the famous Maid of the Mist allows you to get close to the edge of the falls, completely immersing yourself in the roar and spray. Moreover, the journey behind the falls offers an equally unique experience, allowing tourists to observe them through a system of tunnels. The night views, with the falls illuminated by colored lights, are unforgettable, while the panoramas from the Skyline Tower and Clifton Hill allow you to embrace this extraordinary power of nature with your eyes. Lapland, Finland. Beyond the Arctic Circle, where the boundary between reality and magic dissolves into the polar night, Lapland holds secrets as ancient as ice itself. This land isn't just Santa Claus's home. It's a realm where nature still dictates the rules of the game. In winter, when the sun becomes a distant memory, the sky ignites with northern lights dancing like ancestral spirits above endless forests of snow-covered birch and pine trees. Ice hotels glisten like crystal palaces, while glass igloos offer beds beneath the stars. Reindeer, guardians of this Arctic wilderness, roam freely in the tundra, while huskies eagerly await their next snow run. In Sami villages, where time follows the rhythm of seasons, elders tell stories of spirits and shamans around fires that have burned for millennia. It's here, immersed in the absolute silence of primordial nature, that you understand how Lapland isn't a destination, but a state of soul. Death Valley, United States. Death Valley is an extreme place between California and Nevada. It's a desert that seems to come from another planet. It's the lowest point in North America and the place where the highest temperature on Earth has been recorded. Here we find incredible landscapes with golden sand dunes alternating with expanses of white salt. There's a place called Badwater Basin that looks like a lunar landscape. Despite its scary name, this place is full of life. In fact, after rare rains, the desert fills with colorful flowers, an incredible and unexpected spectacle. Death Valley shows how powerful and beautiful nature can be, even in the most extreme places. Bangkok, Thailand. The metropolis that lives nonstop, day and night. The aroma of street food mingles with the noise of tuk-tuks speeding by. The Grand Royal Palace dominates the urban landscape, with its golden spires rising toward the sky. Mosaics glitter under the tropical sun, while the Emerald Buddha rests in its sacred temple. The city unites two worlds, the ancient and the modern. Orange-robed monks walk near glass skyscrapers while century-old temples resist the passing of time. In the heart of Rattanakosin, the ancient royal city, every street has a story to tell. While the canals of Thonburi still flow as they once did, when Bangkok was known as the Venice of the Orient. Boats glide on the water, carrying goods and people as they did centuries ago. The city continues to grow and change, but keeps its original spirit alive in every corner. Vinicunca, Peru. A mountain painted by nature rises to 5,200 meters. 7 layers of different minerals have created as many colors in the rock. Llamas graze in silence, while thin air makes every step slower. Clouds continuously transform rock colors, with sun burning by day and frost biting at night. Science hasn't yet fully explained this natural phenomenon, but the mountain has become the symbol of Peruvian Andes. Chocolate Hills, Philippines. The Chocolate Hills in Bohol are a unique geological phenomenon, with over 1,200 hill formations extending across a landscape that looks like a world of candy. During the dry season, the foliage covering the hills turns brown, giving them the appearance of enormous chocolate mounds. These hills are the result of millennia of marine sediment erosion and represent one of the Philippines' most iconic landscapes. The view from above is particularly impressive at dawn or sunset when the hills seem to glow with their own light. Ijen Volcano, Indonesia. The Ijen volcano is famous for its spectacular acid lake, one of the largest in the world, and for the blue flames that can be observed at night, a natural phenomenon caused by the combustion of sulfur. These flames, burning with surreal intensity against the darkness of the night, along with the turquoise lake surrounded by dark rock walls, create an extraordinary visual contrast. Sulfur workers ascend and descend the volcano daily in extreme conditions, manually extracting the precious mineral in a landscape that highlights the human struggle against the brutal forces of nature. Ijen is not only a natural wonder, but also a symbol of human resilience in the face of environmental adversity. Siargao, Philippines. In the heart of the Philippine Sea rises an island that has enchanted surfers worldwide. Here you'll find Cloud 9, a legendary wave and one of the world's most famous, loved by surfers for the perfect tube that forms when it breaks over the coral reef. Nearby, palm trees lean over the beach, creating a postcard-perfect landscape. The Magpupunko natural pools appear and disappear with the tides, revealing magnificent scenery. Inland, crystal-clear lagoons are surrounded by mangrove forests, where traditional boats glide silently through natural channels. Siargao embodies the perfect balance between tropical paradise and surfer's haven, a place where the ocean sets life's rhythm. Khao Sok National Park, Thailand. In southern Thailand lies one of the planet's oldest rainforests. Khao Sok extends for 739 square kilometers, where the artificial Cheolan Lake is surrounded by limestone mountains up to 960 meters high. Its turquoise waters reflect dozens of limestone peaks that emerge from the water like giant teeth. The forest hosts an extraordinary variety of animals. At dawn, gibbons make their song echo among the trees. Here also grows the Rafflesia, the world's largest flower, which can reach 1 meter in diameter. In the lake live rare fish like the giant catfish, which can exceed 2 meters in length. This forest is older than the Amazon, with trees up to 45 meters tall that have survived for millions of years. Rain falls for 8 months of the year, keeping this unique ecosystem alive. Alaska, United States. America's last frontier, Alaska is a land of superlatives and extreme contrasts. Vast untouched wilderness extends as far as the eye can see, dominated by majestic mountains like Denali, the highest peak in North America. In summer, the midnight sun illuminates surreal landscapes, while in winter, the northern lights dance in the Arctic sky. Millennial glaciers like Mendenhall plunge into spectacular fjords, creating a unique ecosystem where bears, moose, and eagles thrive. Native communities preserve ancient traditions, visible in remote villages and in the totems that dot the temperate rainforests of the southeast. Alaska is not just a destination, it's an adventure that challenges the senses and imagination, a place where nature reigns supreme, and humans are just passing guests. Lisbon, Portugal. Reclining on 7 hills like a queen on her throne, Lisbon is a symphony of pastel colors and Atlantic light. The Alfama district, surviving the devastating 1755 earthquake, is a maze of alleys where fado, the music of the Portuguese soul, echoes between walls covered in centuries-old azulejos. These characteristic painted tile panels tell stories of navigators, saints, and overseas conquests. The Jerónimos Monastery stands majestic in the Belém district, celebrating the golden age of Portuguese discoveries with its unique Manueline style. Its intricately carved vaults seem like petrified ocean waves, while the cloisters tell the story of Vasco da Gama and Oriental spices. Moscow, Russia. In Russia's heart, where East meets West, Moscow stands as a living museum of architecture and power. Red Square, vast stage of Russian history, is dominated by St. Basil's Cathedral's multicolored domes, rising toward the sky like frozen flames. This 16th century masterpiece, with forms seeming to emerge from a fairy tale book, tells the glory of Ivan the Terrible's ancient Russia. The Kremlin, an ancestral fortress transformed into a citadel of power, preserves priceless treasures in its golden cathedrals. Russian winter transforms the city into a realm of ice and snow, where golden domes gleam against white sky and Gorky Park becomes an immense winter amusement park. Taj Mahal, India. It's not just a monument to love, it's a poem written in marble, a crystallized dream that defies time. The Taj Mahal emerges through the dawn mist like a mirage, its perfect forms reflected in the waters of geometric gardens. This love story, transformed into architecture by the Mughal emperor's will, hides secrets in every corner. Its domes change color as the hours pass, from pale pink at dawn to dazzling white at noon to golden at sunset. "20,000 artisans worked for 22 years using techniques still mysterious today to set precious stones and floral designs so delicate they look like embroidery. Its perfect proportions, moreover, are not coincidental. Every measurement, every angle follows precise mathematical formulas, creating a harmony that speaks directly to the soul of the observer. Berlin, Germany. A city of contrast and perpetual rebirth, Berlin pulses with energy that defies every convention. The scars of its dramatic history have been transformed into urban canvases where art and culture flourish with extraordinary vitality. The East Side Gallery, the longest preserved stretch of the Berlin Wall, is no longer a barrier, but an open-air art gallery 0.8 miles long, where artists have transformed concrete into a manifesto of freedom and hope. Museum Island, a UNESCO heritage site, stands like a citadel of culture in the heart of the city. Here, 5 monumental museums house treasures ranging from ancient Egypt to European modernity. Charlottenburg Palace, Queen Sophie Charlotte's favorite residence, preserves gilded halls and French gardens where German imperial elegance continues to shine, in stark contrast to the city's modern dynamism.